In a small hollow between two green hills lay the village of Whispering Pines. The scent of baking bread drifted from pastel houses, each with a garden bursting with flowers. Life here moved slowly, and the villagers liked it that way, predictable, safe, and unchanged. They clung to their routines and traditions, wary of anything new or different. Newcomers were watched from behind curtains, their every move quietly discussed. It wasn't out of unkindness, but a desire to protect their peaceful world. Anything unfamiliar was met with suspicion, as if change itself was a threat. But soon something unexpected would gently challenge their beliefs, like a sudden summer rain making all the flowers bloom brighter. Whispering Pines was about to discover that sometimes the most wonderful changes come from the most unlikely places. In one of the blue houses nestled at the edge of the village lived Lily, a young girl with honey-colored hair that shimmered in the sunlight and a radiant smile that could brighten even the cloudiest day. Her laughter often echoed through the narrow streets, bringing joy to those who heard it. Lily was blind, but she experienced the world in her own extraordinary way. Through her heart, her gentle hands, and her attentive ears, she listened to every sound, felt every texture, and sensed every emotion around her. She navigated the winding village paths by the feel of the cobblestones beneath her feet, the sweet scent of blooming roses in the gardens, and the cheerful melody of birds singing in the trees. Each day she discovered something new, guided by her senses and her curiosity. Some villagers pitied her, whispering among themselves and thinking her blindness was a terrible loss. They wondered how she could ever be truly happy without seeing the world's colors and shapes. But Lily found beauty in things others often overlooked: the softness of a kitten's fur, the gentle song of a bird perched nearby, the cool breeze on her face, and the warmth of the sun on her skin. She cherished every small wonder. She didn't judge people by their appearances, but by the kindness in their voices and the warmth she felt from their touch. To Lily, a gentle word or a caring hand meant more than any outward beauty. Her courage was quiet but strong, a steady confidence that allowed her to trust her senses and move safely through the world. She faced each day bravely, never letting fear hold her back. Lily believed that everyone had goodness inside them, if only you were willing to look for it. She always searched for the best in people, and her hopefulness inspired those around her. Her unique way of seeing the world was a true gift, one that would soon touch the lives of everyone in Whispering Pines and change the village forever. She was content with who she was, never feeling sorry for herself or wishing to be different. Lily embraced her life with gratitude and joy, and soon her gentle spirit and unwavering kindness would touch the heart of the entire village, bringing everyone closer together in ways they never expected. On the village's edge lived Max, a large German shepherd in a weathered cottage. To the villagers, Max was a menace, barking fiercely at anyone who passed, his growl sending shivers down spines. Stories painted him as a monster, a threat to their peaceful lives. Children crossed the street to avoid him, and the mailman tossed letters from afar. No one wondered why Max was so angry or lonely. The truth was, Max was grieving. His owner had died, leaving him anxious and afraid. His barks were cries for help, not aggression. But the villagers only saw a dangerous dog, never looking deeper. Max watched the world with sad eyes, longing for comfort. He wasn't a monster, just a lost soul guarding the only home he knew. Yet he remained the village's shadow, feared and misunderstood. No one dared to reach out until Lily. One warm July afternoon, Lily wandered to the village's edge, drawn by a robin's song. Her path led her to Max's cottage, a place everyone else avoided. Suddenly, Max's fierce barking shattered the quiet. Anyone else would have run, but Lily stood still, listening. She heard not just anger, but deep sadness in his voice, a cry for help. Instead of turning away, she stepped closer, guided by empathy. The barking grew louder, but Lily remained calm, sensing the pain behind the noise. To her, Max's voice told a story of loneliness, not threat. While others saw danger, Lily saw a broken heart. She approached the fence, her cane tapping softly, and did something no one else dared. She reached out, ready to meet the shadow dog. On a quiet afternoon, Lily, the blind girl with honey-colored hair, paused at the old wooden fence that separated her yard from the world beyond. She rested her cane against the rails and, with a gentle determination, reached over, her small hand searching for something familiar. Her fingers brushed against Max's wet nose and the rough, wiry fur that covered his head. For Lily, every touch was a way to see, and in that moment she saw Max in a way no one else ever had. Max, the German shepherd everyone in the village whispered about, froze in place. He was startled by the unexpected gentleness of Lily's touch. No one had ever dared to come so close, let alone reach out with such trust. His ears perked up, and for a split second, he didn't know whether to run or stay. Lily leaned closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's okay. You sound so sad," she murmured, her words soft as a lullaby. She stroked his head softly, her touch steady and kind, as if she could feel the loneliness that weighed on him. Max let out a low, uncertain whine. He was torn between fear and curiosity, but something about Lily's warmth drew him in. He had never known kindness like this, and it made him want to trust, even if just for a moment. Then, without hesitation, Lily leaned in and wrapped her arms around Max's thick neck. She hugged him tightly, her embrace full of hope and courage. It was as if she was trying to tell him, through her touch, that he wasn't alone anymore. This was no ordinary hug. It was a real embrace, overflowing with compassion, not fear. Lily held Max with genuine affection, her heart open and fearless, offering him the comfort he had been missing for so long. For the first time in ages, Max felt something shift inside him. The walls he had built around his heart began to crumble, replaced by a sense of safety he had almost forgotten existed. He relaxed in Lily's arms, letting himself be vulnerable. He stood perfectly still, allowing her to hold him. In that quiet moment, the world seemed to pause, and Max realized he didn't have to be afraid anymore. By chance, Mr. Henderson, the village's oldest resident, happened to see the scene from afar. He watched in disbelief as Lily hugged the dog everyone feared, and Max, once known as a menace, stood quietly, his tail wagging ever so slightly. Astonished, Mr. Henderson wasted no time. He hurried through the village square, his excitement barely contained, eager to share what he had witnessed. The story spread like wildfire, igniting curiosity and hope in every corner of the village. The tale of Lily's brave hug traveled from house to house, changing the usual whispers of fear into murmurs of wonder and amazement. People began to question what they thought they knew about Max. The village was stunned. Could a simple act of kindness really tame the monster at their edge? The idea seemed impossible, yet the evidence was right before their eyes. That day, something in the village began to shift. People started to gather, sharing hopeful glances and quiet smiles, wondering if perhaps they too could find the courage to reach out. The hug was more than just a gesture. It was a spark that lit a new fire in the hearts of everyone who heard about it. It became a symbol of hope, showing that even the deepest fears could be softened by compassion. And soon, the warmth of Lily's hug would spread throughout the village, touching every life and reminding everyone that sometimes all it takes is a little kindness to change everything. The next day, as the sun rose over the quiet village, the villagers noticed something different in the air. There was a sense of calm, a gentle hush that hadn't been there before. People moved through the village with a new curiosity, glancing toward Max's cottage with cautious hope. The mailman, who had always approached Max's cottage with a pounding heart, expecting a storm of barking, was surprised. Instead of the usual fierce growls, he was met with silence and a soft, almost welcoming woof from Max. For the first time in months, the mailman placed letters in the mailbox without fear, his hands steady, a smile spreading across his face as Max watched quietly from a distance. Children, who had always kept their distance, noticed the growling had stopped. Their laughter grew louder, their games bolder, as they played near the fence, glancing at Max with wide, amazed eyes. When one brave boy's ball rolled into Max's yard, everyone held their breath. But instead of barking or baring his teeth, Max gently nudged the ball back under the fence, his tail wagging in a friendly gesture. The monster they had feared was gone, replaced by a gentle, curious dog who seemed eager to make friends. Max now sat by the fence each day, tail wagging, his eyes bright with hope, waiting patiently for a kind word or a gentle touch from anyone passing by. The villagers gathered in the street, talking not with fear or suspicion, but with amazement and wonder at the change they saw. How could one simple hug, one act of kindness, change a dog so completely? They marveled at the transformation, whispering stories of what they had witnessed. Lily's kindness hadn't magically transformed Max overnight. It had simply opened a door that had long been closed. She showed him that not all humans were threats, that there was still goodness in the world, reminding him of trust, care, and the warmth of gentle hands. Max was finally free to be himself, a gentle soul who had always longed for connection, now able to rest peacefully in the sun, his heart unburdened. The shadow that once lingered at the village's edge had become a friend, a companion to the people who once feared him. And as the days passed, the village began to see Max with new eyes, no longer as a threat, but as a beloved part of their community, a symbol of hope and change. Lily visited Max every day, their meetings at the fence becoming a cherished ritual. Max waited for her, tail wagging, greeting her with happy whines and gentle licks. Lily told him stories, and Max listened, his head cocked as if he understood every word. Their friendship grew. Lily loved the feel of his fur, Max loved her gentle touch. He became her guardian, standing protectively by her side, not with aggression, but with quiet loyalty. The villagers watched, first with suspicion, then with wonder. They saw how Max's demeanor softened around Lily, how happiness replaced his old tension. Their bond was pure and simple, a blind girl and a once-feared dog, teaching everyone about true friendship. Lily's inability to judge by sight became her greatest strength. Their daily meetings were a lesson in seeing with the heart. The story of Lily and Max became the talk of Whispering Pines. At first, people were amazed. Then they began to reflect. They realized they'd judged Max and others too quickly. Inspired by Lily, villagers started approaching Max with kindness. Mrs. Gable offered him sausage, the baker saved bones, and children brought toys. Max responded with gentle gratitude, his happy bark now welcomed. The change spread. Villagers looked at each other differently, questioning old judgments. They reached out to newcomers and saw old Mr. Henderson's grumpiness as loneliness. Kindness to Max spilled over into their relationships, shifting the village's atmosphere. Whispers behind curtains became friendly waves. Suspicion gave way to curiosity and understanding. Lily and Max's friendship planted a seed of compassion in every heart. Whispering Pines was learning to see beyond appearances. Whispering Pines was still quiet, but it had changed. The story of the blind girl and the once-feared dog became a legend, a reminder of courage and kindness. Max was now the village's dog, beloved and accepted, often seen walking beside Lily. Lily's strength and empathy inspired everyone. She taught the village that you don't need eyes to see someone's true heart. Fear had built walls, but kindness tore them down. The villagers admired Lily, seeing her gifts instead of her blindness. They learned not to judge too quickly, to look past the surface, and to offer kindness freely. The ripple of compassion spread, touching every home and heart. And so, the blind girl taught the village how to truly see.